Guys, welcome back to part 2 of my eyeshadow palette collection. So I did kind of move things around a bit. I'm actually filming this on a different day because I just ran out of time to film that first one. I had a lot more than I was expecting. So anyways, let's go ahead and jump into this. I'm glad I did split this video up and film a little bit later because I realized that I almost forgot to talk about these 3 palettes. These were in my new makeup drawer and I did forget to pull them out originally. So the first one is this cute little palette from Etude house. As I mentioned, these were from my new makeup drawer, so all of these are brand new and I haven't had a chance to try them yet. But I did receive this from W2 Beauty. I will link their site below. They sent me a whole bunch of stuff from Etude house, and I did include some of those products in my like makeup try-on tutorial, trying on brand new makeup, which again I'll link that above as well. But this particular palette I have not had a chance to try yet, so I really don't know about the quality or anything like that, but it's a cute little palette. It's like a Halloween themed palette. I don't know if my camera's going to focus, but it's really cute. It's called the Fantastic Color Eyes Hello Pumpkin Queen palette. So anyway, once I get a chance to try that more, I'll talk more about it on my channel, I'm sure. Next, I have this little palette from Kat Von D. This is the Shade and Light Eye Palette in Smoke. I showed you guys this on my Snapchat. This went on clearance on at our location because we're not going to be carrying them anymore. I think they are still available online for the full price, but anyway, I did pick up 2, one for a giveaway I have coming up. I have a bunch of giveaways coming up for August, so definitely if you like giveaways, make sure you subscribe because those are coming soon. But this little palette right here was on clearance for $15.40 before my employee discount, so I went ahead and picked up a couple, and I'm excited to try this out because I love her formula of her matte eyeshadows. I think they're really great. And then the other one that I picked up is, again, because it went on clearance, this is from Urban Decay. This is one of the Decay Michael bisquiat collaboration. This one is the more colorful one. I did also get the neutral one for a giveaway. I really hated the packaging on these, so originally I was not planning to buy these whatsoever, but they went on clearance and I can't remember what I paid for it because I know this sticker says $27.99, but it got marked down again, and that's why I bought it, is because it was marked down again. But I can't remember. I think I ended up after my discount paying like $15 for this, which is a really good deal. There's a lot of bright bold colors in here. The formula is fantastic on the actual eyeshadows. I just really hated the packaging. But these are very, very pigmented, and they almost even stain the skin. That's how pigmented they are. A girlfriend at work that I have had picked this palette up and did a full look using these kind of bluish green colors, and it was so beautiful that I was like, oh my god, I need that now. So anyway, I did pick that up, and I'll definitely be playing with that a little bit, I'm sure. Okay, next I have this one I included in eyeshadows, even though technically I guess it's a cheek or eyeshadow palette. This is the Kat Von D Alchemist palette. So it's a very versatile little palette. These are shades that you can use as eyeshadow toppers. You can use it as a highlighter. You can use them as a lipstick topper. I mean, so many different uses for these, and they're just like the holographic shades. They don't look like much in the pan, but they are really beautiful. Really, really beautiful powders. I'll just show you one of them, for instance. Just really super holographic, but yeah, definitely like that palette as well. And then I also have this little Tarte palette. This is the Rainforest of the Sea, the first one. Honestly, I feel like this is one that's not going to make it in my collection much longer. I do need to do a declutter. As you guys can see, I have way, way too much eyeshadow, and this has opened my eyes doing this video to how much I have in excess. But this little palette here, it's not that it's a bad formula. I actually really don't usually like Tarte eyeshadows, but the formula on this I think is okay. The problem with this one for me is that it's just all shimmers, and I feel like it's all just lid shades, so I don't feel like I have the variety I need in this palette to come up with, you know, a full look. I always have to pull other things in, and I just don't find myself reaching for it for that reason. But I know some people really like these eyeshadows. Just for me, it wasn't my favorite. Alright, we're going to move on to this little container right here. These have like all of my smaller eyeshadow palettes in it. Let's start with this since it's kind of stuck on top. This is the Marc Jacobs the Dreamer palette. This is one I found also at TJ Maxx and got a super good deal. I feel like it was $19.99, which these are normally $60. Definitely keep an eye out at TJ Maxx because I know at our store we sent back all of our eyeshadow palettes from Marc Jacobs because they're going to be coming out with new palettes. So all the ones that we had in stock got returned to the warehouse, so they're probably going to be showing up on either hautelook or at TJ Maxx and things like that, so keep an eye out. But this palette is gorgeous. It's very neutral, some just beautiful shimmers in here, and it's really nice formula on the Marc Jacobs shadows as well. I just feel like they're overpriced. I would not pay full price for these, but finding them on sale, yes, definitely pick it up if you can find it. Next, I have a couple little Viseart palettes. The first one here is called the Petite Pro palette. This is the newer one of the two for me. I honestly really want to pick up one of their full size. I don't have any of their full size palettes because they're so expensive. I've only invested in these little guys, but the formula, especially on the mattes for Viseart, cannot be beat. These are the best matte eyeshadows I have ever tried, and clearly I've tried a lot of eyeshadows, but they are just so pigmented, but they blend out like a dream. They don't blend away. They don't get muddy. They're fantastic. I cannot explain how great they are. You definitely have to try them. Even if you just pick up one of these little palettes, I think you will not be disappointed with these. Now the shimmers are great too. They are very good, but there's just something about these mattes that cannot be explained. They're just fantastic, so I definitely recommend those. Alrighty, next, the other one that I have from Viseart is one of the Theory palettes, and this one is in the shade Minx. But again, it's just one of the little baby palettes, but they're just so great. I really want to get more of these. Honestly, they're that good. So yeah, I love these palettes. I'll never declutter these, never. I have a bunch of Wet n Wild little guys here. This one here is the Walking on Eggshells. This is one, my cat is so reclusive until I start filming on the floor, and then she just wants all the attention in the world. I don't get it. Anyway, this one is one that I picked up because so many people on YouTube talked about it all the time. It's definitely a YouTube made me buy it. It is a really good palette, especially for the price. I mean, you cannot beat the formula on these. The ones that have like the is stamped in it, like says like brow bone, crease, and eyelid. These ones, the formula is definitely like high-end quality, but they're so affordable. Like I think this is like what, $1.99 or something. You can't beat that. So I definitely love that little palette. I also, of course, have the Comfort Zone palette. This is one I feel like everybody should have in their collection. Again, it compares to my high-end eyeshadows. It's so fantastic of quality. So yeah, you can't beat it, and it's $4.99 I think, so definitely pick that up if you don't have it. A lot of my little palettes in here are drugstore. Next I have this little LA Colors. I had a whole bunch of these. This is the only one that I kept. These are honestly not great quality, but they're pretty decent for the price. They were $1 from the Dollar Tree. And this one has like that burnt orange and this really pretty gold. And then that brown. So I feel like I liked the colors of these best. Now they are a little bit chalky, just a little bit powdery, but still very pretty eyeshadows. So I have kept that one. Next I have this little Milani one. This is the Earthy Element Everyday Eye. They have a bunch of these in that gold packaging. The colors, so reflective, I'm sorry. The colors on this is really the reason I picked this one of the other ones. I like the formula on these a lot, and this is something I would consider buying more of. I just have so much. It's the only reason I haven't got more of these, but I really love this one a lot. Very beautiful. So I also have this little palette from CoverGirl. This is the True Naked Roses. This is pretty decent quality for drugstore. I do declutter a lot of drugstore stuff. If I try something and I don't like it, I get rid of it pretty quickly. But this one made it through. After I tried it, I decided I really do like it. It's definitely a good dupe for the Naked 3 palette. If you have been wanting the Naked 3, but you're not sure if you want to invest it, get this. I think you won't be disappointed. It's pretty close to the same thing. It's not quite as good as the Naked 3, and you obviously don't get as many shades, but for the price difference, definitely would recommend that guy. Alright, next up I have this Wet n Wild palette. This is the Au Natural. So this one, this Wet n Wild palette compared to these guys that have the bigger pans with the stamps on them, it's not as good. I was hoping, because of how beautiful the shade selection in this was, it really reminds me of the original Naked palette. I was hoping that this would be equal to these, and it's just not. It's not as good. It's okay, but I think these are great. So that's kind of the difference. That's how I would compare those. Next I have this little Kleancolor palette. Now this I actually got off the Shop Miss A site. I used to do a lot of hauls on that site. If you guys want to see another one of those, let me know. But the nice thing about the Shop Miss A site is that everything on their site is $1, including all the makeup. So I got this palette for $1. Again, for the price, it's pretty decent, considering it only costs $1. So if you're on a really tight budget but you wanted to get some new eyeshadows, I definitely think you would like this palette. Next, I have this little palette from Clarins, and this I actually received from Octoly. This is called the 4-color eyeshadow palette. It's super cute. Like, look how cute this packaging is. It's great for travel, I think. But I really like the shades in here. This little orange actually surprised me. I thought it would be like too light to show up on the eyes, but it actually showed up on my eyelid really, really nicely, and it lasted all day, stayed very pigmented. And every time I wore this to work, I had clients asking me what I was wearing, and I was like, oh, it's something I don't carry here, sorry. But I really, really liked this eyeshadow palette, so I definitely recommend that. Oh, and I did have another one of these LA colors. This one here is the Seductive one, so it has kind of more purpley colors. So you have this nice taupe, kind of a stark white, and then this purple here. Again, same quality as the other guy. All right, I have this little Lorac Satisfying Toffee Crunch palette. This actually came as a 4-piece set. It came with 4 of these little quads, and this is the only one that I have not yet decluttered because I really just like these shades that come in this one, and the quality is good. It's just like their other Lorac shadows. It's very, very nice quality. So I have hung on to that one. It's very old, but I do still love it. And then last thing in this front part here, I have this little Rimmel palette. This is a little Rimmel quad. This one is called the Green Sapphire. I don't even know if you can get these anymore. This is really super old, but I just love these greens. I do not wear green eyeshadow very often, but it's nice to have a few greens in my collection for when I want to. Now back here I have this little Tarte palette. This is the Tartist Pro To Go. I do have the full-size Pro, but these shades are not the same as the ones that come in the full-size pan, and for some reason I like the quality on these better. I don't know what it is, but it actually performs better on my eye than the full-size one. So I think eventually I might declutter the full-size, but I think I will keep this one because I actually really do like it. I do also have the smaller Tartelette Tease palette. So this is supposed to be like their Tartelette palettes but in travel version. I don't own either of the larger Tartelette palettes. I just have this little Tease one, and I do like the quality on this. I don't know what it is, but I feel like their little mini palettes are better than their full-size palettes. I don't know why, I just do. Next, I have this little Tom Ford Duo. This is the Ripe Plum one. I talked about this in a products I regret buying just because of how expensive this product is. Now, I did find it at a CCO, so I got it at a 30% discount, but I still feel like it was like $60 or something crazy for 2 little eyeshadows. I do like the quality, I just feel like they're overpriced. Now, this shade here is just stunning. It's a really beautiful pinky opal holographic color. Very, very pretty. But again, just not worth the cost. All right, next I have this little palette from Makeup Forever. This is the Sepia Blue. This was a little limited edition palette. This I actually found at TJ Maxx quite a long time ago, but it's a lot of neutral matte colors, and then you've got that one pop of teal blue. This is a really, really good palette. I am so glad I found this palette because it's one that I reach for quite often. Next, I have this little palette from e.l.f. This actually came also through Octoly. This is the Nude Rose Gold palette, and this is really pretty. Let me open it up. Again, I feel like this is a very close dupe to the Naked 3 palette from Urban Decay. Really, really stunning. I haven't used this a ton. I actually do need to pull this in and try it more. But I did really like it when I was trying it out. So next I have this little Ciate London palette. This is the Olivia Palermo collab. I feel like there was 2 palettes in this collection. This darker one, and then there was a lighter neutral one, I believe. But the Smoldering Eyes, the name of this one. But these colors are really beautiful. This one here is like one of my favorites. This blue is like stunning. So, so pretty. Really good quality. I did do a tutorial with this palette as well, so I'll link that if I can find it. But I did really like that. You can't get it anymore, but I did like that palette. Next, I have this Too Faced Natural Matte palette. This one is a really great all-natural palette. If you're looking for a more affordable all-natural or all matte palette, this one's great. It's like $36, I think, and you get quite a bit of eyeshadow in here. Really good quality, so definitely recommend that guy. Next, I have another limited edition palette. This one is from Josie Moran. This is called the I Love You palette. This I actually found in the clearance section on Sephora's site quite a long time ago. It's another really old one. But yeah, it's really good quality. It doesn't look like a palette I would normally gravitate towards, just like the color arrangement and everything, but I actually really do like this. And whenever I pull it in, I'm always like, oh yeah, I really like this palette. Why don't I use it more often? But it's a really good palette. Next, I have this little Kevin Aucoin, I believe. Oh no, there's 5 in here. So this one I've had for a long time. I don't remember where I got this. I think it might have been from Glambot. I can't remember, honestly. It doesn't swatch well, does it? I feel like I don't remember this palette, honestly. I need to pull this in and try it out, because if it's something I'm not going to use, I need to declutter it, but I don't remember if I like it or not, to be honest. Next, I have this little Kiss New York Hexa palette. This is actually pretty decent quality. I feel like this is a more affordable brand. This was sent to me through Octoly again, so I can't remember like the price point on this, but it's actually pretty decent quality. It reminds me of the Milani formula, very similar to this one as far as formula goes. Okay, next I have a little Stila palette. This is another one that came as like a set. This came with like a cheek palette and I can't remember what else, but these little eyeshadows are really good. Really pretty colors too. Like, I was really impressed with the little color selection in here, but I do really like this one as well. This is one of my absolute favorite palettes here. I love this palette so much. This is the Stila Eyes Are the Window Mind palette, and it's an all matte palette, and it is so good, you guys. I feel like this is a close second as far as matte formula to my Viseart palettes. So if you've been wanting to try Viseart, but you can't afford them because they are expensive, give this one a try instead. It is the more affordable, it's not affordable, but compared to Viseart, it's affordable. And you get a lot of shadows in here, but I really love this so much. This is definitely one of my top favorite palettes. All right, and then I also had this guy in that container. This is from Becca. This is the Ombre Rouge palette, and it has these shadows inside. These are, I think, mostly matte. I feel like these two are more of a satin finish, but mostly matte, and it is a really nice palette, really nice formula as well. All right, let's move this forward. So now we're going to go through what I have displayed on top of my Alex 9 drawers, and I just have a few palettes stuck in here. The first one here is my Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, the original. I do really love this. This eyeshadow here broke when I first bought it, but it's okay because it still has a lot of product left in the pan. But yeah, this is definitely a really nice palette as well. I also have my Too Faced Sweet Peach palette, and this one, I really like the quality on this. However, I have to tell you guys, this one is one of the original ones when they first launched, and then they went away for like, what, 6 or 7 months and came back with new ones. And I got a new one for my daughter, and she was playing with it, and she's like, Mom, these shadows are no good. And I was like, what are you talking about? They are fantastic. So I thought it was user error. I went in there and used her eyeshadow palette on her eyes, and I was like, you're right, they are not showing up. So I grabbed this and tried it on her, and it was totally different formula. So I don't know if you guys have had that experience, but I definitely have noticed that the quality on this palette, which was the original launch, is way better than the new one. So I don't know what Too Faced is doing, but this particular one I think is really good. Maybe that's why this has had such mixed reviews, and a lot of my coworkers are like, I hate that palette, but I was like, you know what, it's really good. I don't know why you hate it. And I feel like it's just because they redid their formula and it's not as good as the original, but I do like that one. Next, I have all 3 of the Lorac Pro palettes. These are the original, or the smaller pros. The original one, I have hit pan on several shades. This is definitely one of my absolute favorite palettes. It is my go-to palette whenever I travel because it's so compact and easy to travel with, and you get so many great shades. You can come up with so many versatile looks with this little guy here. I also have the Lorac Pro 2. That's what this looks like. And when I talked about this in a video, I used an abuse video, someone was like, oh, but you had it sitting behind you, yet you were holding it. It was this guy that you guys saw. So I don't have 2 of the Pro 1. I just had the Pro 2, or Pro 1, Pro 2, and Pro 3. So anyways, this is what the Pro 2 looks like on the inside. And then the Pro 3, which is my newest one, looks like that. The color arrangement on this one is really pretty as well. I really like that one quite a lot. All right, next up I have the Violet Voss Pro eyeshadow palette. This is the Holy Grail palette, and this is what it looks like. This is just such a great fall palette in my opinion. It has so many nice fall tones in here. I really do like her formula quite a bit. I feel like it's really similar honestly to the Natasha Denona formula, but a little bit more affordable. So, all right, next up I have the BH Cosmetics Carli Bybel palette. This is the first one. Looks like that on the inside. This one I wasn't too impressed with. I felt like it got so many fantastic reviews that I was like, oh, I'm gonna love it. And then I tried it and I was like, you know, it's just not that great. It's okay. It just reminds me of BH Cosmetics eyeshadows, just like their eyeshadow formula and the Coastal Scents. It's like, for the price it's alright, but it's not the best quality. Next I have my MAC Warm Neutrals 15 pan palette. This is a great palette. I don't know if they still sell these, but if they do, I definitely recommend it. It's a great way to get a bunch of MAC eyeshadows for a really good price, and these are all, you know, some of their most popular shades that you would use every day. Just really usable little palette here, and I definitely love that guy. All right, now we're getting into, let's save the customized palettes for last. Let's go ahead and talk about this guy next. This is my Mi Vida Loca palette from Kat Von D. This is a palette I will never declutter. Never, ever, ever. Even if I stop using the eyeshadows eventually, I just love how beautiful this palette is. So I will never get rid of this. And this is what it looks like on the inside. It's just like a color wheel, and you get all these beautiful shades in here. Some are shimmers, some are mattes, you've got some satins. It's just a collection of different finishes and colors, and it's just beautiful. So this will always be mine. I love this. Alright, next up, let's do these customizable palettes. This one here is my Z palette. This is full of mostly Makeup Geek eyeshadows. All the round pans that you see are Makeup Geek, and the square ones on the side are Mary Kay. So that's what I have in there. I also have this little palette from Ofra. This I got in a BoxyCharm. These guys here, and I think this also is an Ofra powder that I got in a BoxyCharm as well. It's supposed to be like a setting powder for brightening. But yeah, the quality on these are actually really decent. I was very, very surprised by those. And then the last two palettes I have in here, these are customizable palettes that I got from Love Luxe Beauty's website. I will link it below because every time I show this palette in particular, people ask me where to find it. So I will link that for you guys. But this one here is just the Rose Gold Glitter, I think is the name of this palette. And this is full of some random stuff actually. All of these pans over here are my Makeup Forever eyeshadows, and again I did talk about what I had in all of these palettes in a video, so I'll link that above. I did get some new shadows in here, so I'll show you those real quick. This one here is I-804, such a pretty color, really, really pretty. This one here is M738, and then this reddish shade here is M846. Those three are new. I just picked those up recently. These over here were sent to me by a brand called Maison Jacinthe. This is a setting powder, and this is an eyeshadow. This is from Frends Beauty, and then these here are from Love Luxe Beauty. These are some highlighters that she sent me along with the palettes, and these are stunning, you guys. Her highlighter like quality is fantastic, especially for her price point. Definitely check them out. She's got some really good products on her site. So anyway, yeah, that's what I have in that guy. And then the very last one, this beautiful palette here, is basically empty because I can't find any eyeshadows that stick in here very well with the magnet. But I have one from Anastasia. This is the blushing eyeshadow, and then I have this broken shadow, which I don't even know what that is, and I don't know what that is either. I think this one is a super old Urban Decay shadow, to be honest. But anyway, that one's kind of a mess. I need to get organized in this one. I've been kind of slowly trying to build these palettes. Anyway, that's what I have for my eyeshadow palette collection. I hope you guys really enjoyed watching this video. I know it was super long between the two parts, but thank you so much for watching everything. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And if you want to see any tutorials on any of these eyeshadow palettes, please let me know, because I'm going to start a whole series on doing eyeshadow tutorials featuring the different palettes that I own. Since I have so many, I might as well. Thanks so much. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!